Hey guys, it's Sarah. So remember when I started my channel and I said you're not going to see lots of book hauls from me because I don't buy books all that often? I'm a lying liar. I have another book haul today. So these books actually have been accumulating over the past couple of months. I believe the first ones, they came from a range of different places, so I'll talk about them as I tell you what I got. But I think the first ones that I got were in June. So this is like kind of June and July. But I do have quite a bit that I've accumulated, so I thought it was good to go ahead and do a book haul for you. So the first one I'm going to show you here is one that I got for review from Penguin Random House, and I was completely floored that I even got this book because I was not expecting it at all. And I recently went through and emailed a bunch of publishers kind of introducing myself and telling them that I'm doing booktube videos now, and if they had anything they were willing to send me, I would absolutely be willing to read and do reviews and things. And then for each one I kind of picked one book that I was interested in, and I never heard anything back. From a few companies I actually did, they kind of said, you know, sign up for our newsletter, you get information about that kind of stuff in here and things like that. I didn't hear anything from Penguin, so I kind of just was like, eh. But then this showed up on my doorstep and I was like, oh, because this is what I requested. So this is called 100 Days of Happiness, and it is by Fausto Brizzi. Fausto Brizzi. He's Italian. This book was originally written in Italian and published in Italy, and now it's making its way to other countries. So this comes out August 11th. I'm going to be reading this next, actually. I'm about to finish up a book, and then this is next on my list, so I can go ahead and make sure I have a review up before the publication date. But they sent me a nice one. Like, this is a nice hardback. This is a finished copy. I was super excited. It feels really nice. So this book is about a man who, this is a nonfiction, but it's about a man who is diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he's given about 90-ish or so days to live. So he wants to spend his last few months really just living life to its fullest and being as happy as he can and living the life that he really wants to live while he still can. So I thought that sounded really interesting. I'm excited to read it, and it's set in Italy, so I'm really excited about that because Italy is like my dream place. If I could go anywhere in the world, Italy would be it. I don't care where. I'll go anywhere in Italy as long as I'm there. But yes, so thank you, Penguin, for sending this to me. I am truly excited. This is my first like actual physical ARC that I've ever gotten. And it's not really an ARC, it's a finished copy, but I was super excited to receive it. And I will be posting a review very, very soon on this one. Okay, so next up are some books that I purchased at Goodwill. My husband and I and my girls, we went to Roswell one day. My husband had some business there that he had to take care of. So we had to drop him off because we couldn't go in with him. And we kind of had to kill some time by ourselves with me and the girls. So we went and had lunch and everything. And then in the same shopping center where we had lunch, there was a Goodwill. And I was like, let's just pop in here and see if there's any good books. I love going to Goodwill for books because majority of the time I will find at least one thing that is in really good condition that's really cheap that I want to read. So we went and I made out like a bandit. I got 5 books there, so I was really excited. And I got all of them for, I think, $8. So 5 books for $8 is a really good deal there. So the first one that I saw and I picked up is actually a very old book, but I've never read it. My mom and my sister both loved this book. And it is The Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. Owl. I don't know how to say that last name. I'm not even 100% sure what this is about, I'll be completely honest, but I know that my mom and my sister both loved it, and they have both told me I should read it one day, and so I was like, you know what? And this is a really good copy. It's in really good condition. It is a mass market paperback. I think that's all you can get this in anyway. But it's a little bit less than 500 pages, so sometime I will be picking this up and reading it. Okay, another book that I got at Goodwill is actually took me by surprise. I didn't know that this even existed, but it's a Veronica Mars mystery, and this is called The $1,000 Tan Line, and it's written by Rob Thomas and Jennifer Graham. And I loved the Veronica Mars TV series and the movie as well that came out in the past couple years. A movie came out, but I loved it. I was obsessed with the TV show, and I was really upset that it ended, but I think they are going to be writing just a little fun little series of Veronica Mars mysteries and things coming up. So I went ahead and grabbed this one. I believe this is the first one, and it just recently came out, I think. But yeah, so I'm gonna give this one a try and see if I like it, and we'll see how it goes. But I thought that was a cute little find. And another book that I saw that was actually never really completely on my radar until I actually saw it at Gobo, and I was like, I'll give this a try. I had heard about it and I heard it was good, but it is Crooked Letter, and this is written by Tom Franklin. And this one follows two childhood friends who are kind of like opposite side of the train tracks. One is a little bit more privileged, another one kind of lives in the ghetto, but they are friends as children. The more privileged one ends up taking a girl out on a date, and she disappears and is never heard from again. He was never charged, he never confessed, but he kind of lives the rest of his life under suspicion of, you know, he probably killed that girl. And when they grow into adults, the poorer kid ends up becoming the town constable, and another girl goes missing, so he's kind of wondering whether or not his friend actually did that. So once I read the synopsis, I thought it sounded really interesting, so I'm definitely going to be giving this one a try. Another book I picked up at Goodwill is Where'd You Go, Bernadette? This is by Maria Semple. I've heard mixed things about this. Some people loved it, like raved about it. And then some people were kind of like, I don't understand. So we'll see which side of the fence I fall, but I figured I'd give it a try. I heard it's a fun read regardless, even if you're not like the biggest fan, it's still a fun read. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. And the last book that I picked up at Goodwill is a book that I've actually already read. It's in my top 10 favorite books of all time, hands down. I've read it twice already, but I didn't have a physical copy. The first time I read it, I got it from the library, and the second time I read it, it was on my Kindle. But I wanted to have a physical copy on my shelves because it is definitely one of my favorite books. I know I will read it again in the future, and I just kind of wanted it to be displayed on my bookshelves, and that's Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. This is the paperback, which I prefer. I love my paperbacks. I love this kind of paperback. The mass market, not so much, but this kind, like where it's a good size and it feels nice. I prefer these over hardcovers any day. But this is really good condition. There were two of these there actually, so I just kind of picked the one that had, you know, the least amount of any type of damage or wear on it. And it's a great copy, so I'm really excited. So I will be reading this again sometime in the future because I love it so much. Okay, so the next three books that I got at Hastings, which is kind of our local bookstore, I guess you could say. It has a lot of stuff like books, electronics, games, movies, things like that. So it's kind of like a media store, I guess, but they have really like half the store is books. So they have a pretty good selection there. So we have one down the street from our house. These I actually got in Roswell as well because we were there and we wanted to kill some time, and the kids love the toy section. So I got a few things because they were on sale, so I just grabbed them. First one is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is one that I have heard about because of BookTube, and it's gonna be a different book for me for sure, but I'm really excited to read it. I've heard just nothing but good things. Even people who didn't like give it 5 stars still said it was good. You know, like it was not my favorite book, but it was still good. So I'm excited to read it. And this is being made into a movie, which I talked about in my book to movie adaptation video. And yeah, so I'll probably be getting to this sooner rather than later. That I picked up at Hastings that I have also recently talked about because it's being made into a movie, which comes out in November, is The Martian by Andy Weir. And I'm very excited to read this. I want to read this year, I think. I'm probably not going to be able to go out and see the movie just because my husband and I going to see a movie is like a miracle. So, yeah. But I definitely want to read the book before I see the movie. The movie looks really good, but I'm very excited, and I was happy to pick this up on a sale. So, yeah. And the third book that I picked up at Hastings is also one that I've already read before, but I don't own a copy, and it's something that I want to reread or maybe even listen to an audiobook. I haven't decided yet, but either way I want it on my shelves because I remember loving it so much, and that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I read this for a book club that I was in Tucson, and that I remember coming out of it just really loving it. I do need to refresh exactly what happens in the book before I see the movie, because this is coming out as a movie as well. I think it's still in the very beginning stages. I don't think they've even cast it yet, but it will be happening. So I want to either reread this or maybe at least listen to it on audiobook again before the movie comes out as a refresher. But I do love this book, and I love the cover of it. I think it's gorgeous. It has a little cutout and everything. So I just wanted to make sure I had a copy on my shelf because I do love this book. Okay, so I have two books here that I picked up randomly at different stores, and they were just one apiece. This, I picked up a copy of To Kill a Mockingbird. I have not read To Kill a Mockingbird yet. I'm going to read this for Booktubeathon, so that is going to be happening. And yeah, so my mom can stop bugging me about reading this book. She's been bugging me for 10 years, and I'm not even kidding. But I saw this at the BX on Base when Ghost Shadow Watchmen first came out. So I just really liked the cover of it. I like the colors. It's like green and brown and really pretty. So I went ahead and picked this up. And another book that I picked up randomly at Walmart, because sometimes when I'm at Walmart, I go to the book section and see what's there. This book wasn't initially on my interest list at first, but it's picked up so much hype and so much attention, and now it's going to be made into a movie, and it's a 3-book series, and I'm like, maybe I should at least give it a try. And people on BookTube who I really kind of trust their opinions have really loved it, and even though it's not necessarily in their wheelhouse either, so I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. And it was only $9 at Walmart, so I grabbed it. But that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. So this is the first one. I'm gonna give this one a try and see what I think. If I absolutely love and adore it, I'll go buy the other two as well. If it was just okay, or if, like, you know, whatever, maybe I'll get them from the library or something if I want to continue with it. But this edition is like, this is a heavy paperback book. I was really surprised at how dense it is for being a paperback, but it's like, it's a hefty feel in your hands. So I kind of like that. I think it's because the pages are a lot of the pages are thick because they actually have like pictures in them and things like that. So that's probably why the paper is probably a heavier weight. But yeah, so I picked this up at Walmart. Okay, so I have two more books to talk about. One is a standalone book, another one is a series that I bought, but I waited for last because I was most excited about these. I finally caved and bought these books. The series that I'll talk about in a second, I had some drama with Amazon on that one, but yeah, so I just caved and got it where I knew I was going to be able to get it. So I went on Book Depository and I bought Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I have not read a Brandon Sanderson book yet, but I saw Kaz at Little Book Owl talk about this book. She recently read it and she made me want to read it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Brandon Sanderson a try. So if I'm going to be ordering some books, I might as well like make it worth the trip from the UK because the Book Depository is in London. So yeah, this is a big book. It's a big one. It's an epic fantasy, not small print. So this will be a fun. It'll probably take me a while to read it, just because epic fantasies are so huge and there's so much information and a lot to take in. But yeah, so I'm excited. Kaz made me excited to buy it, so I went ahead and bought it. In PS, these covers, like, I can't. And my final purchase of this book haul was the one that I was most excited about, and that is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and I did get the UK version. Now, I could have gone up to Hastings down the street and bought the American edition of Mistborn. It wasn't like I couldn't find it, but I wanted this edition because these books are so gorgeous. Seriously, they are beautiful. I was like, you know what, if I'm going to be reading a huge book, like with a whole lot of stuff in it and everything, I want the cover to be gorgeous, and I want to walk around and probably display it on my face as I read it because they're just so beautiful. So I had, this is the first one, this is The Final Empire, and see, these are big books. So I had pre-ordered these on Amazon. So I was looking for this edition for sure, and when I decided I wanted to read it, I said, well, if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get the UK edition. And I couldn't find it a lot of places were sold out. I did find them on eBay, but they were ridiculously like $50. I was like, no, that's not happening. So randomly on Amazon, they showed up for pre-order, and I was like, oh my gosh, that probably means they're getting some more in stock because they were out of stock for them. And I pre-ordered it. And then the next day the pre-order was gone. Like, you couldn't pre-order it anymore. So I got nervous. I was like, was that a mistake? Was that a glitch? So I contacted them and said, I just want to make sure that wasn't a glitch, because if it was a glitch, I'll keep looking up elsewhere. And they said, no, it wasn't. You're good. And I was like, okay. And then like a month and a half later, I got an email saying that they're not going to be available. And I was like, okay, super awesome. So once I got that email though, I started searching again, and then Book Depository had them back in stock. So I grabbed that, and I grabbed Warbreaker, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and get them. This I believe was like $38, I think, but I was like, you know what, I really want them. I don't want to have to go on a witch hunt again for them later, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get them, and I'm really happy I did. So this one is The Final Empire, and then the second one is The Well of Ascension. See how pretty? The artwork is just stunning. And the third one is A Hero of Ages. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love them. I love them. And, you know, and they're really big books. You know, I don't mind big books. I do have to gear myself up mentally to read them, and probably this one is going to take a lot of brain power to get through. But with everything that I hear about them, I'm gonna go for it. So, and then I have this pretty box to display on my shelves, which I display it this part facing out so you can see it. So, yay! I was so excited. That was my most excited that I've been to receive books in a long time. So, yay! All right, so that's it. That is a big book haul from June and July. I'll probably have another smaller one in August. I just put a couple orders into Book Outlet and used a couple of coupons. So I'm gonna get at least 2 packages from them here coming soon. But yeah, so that's it for me, and I will see you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.